Hello friends, we are your Colorado real estate family, and today we're going to do an in-depth analysis of the most affordable cities to buy a house surrounding Denver.
All right, let's go.
All right, if you're new to our channel, Chelsea and Pete here, and if you're interested in moving to Denver or any of the surrounding cities, we're the people that you need to know. So do yourself a favor, hit the subscribe button down below. We put out 2 videos a week, so hit that notification bell so you're notified every single time a new video gets put out.
And along those lines, guys, we like to be your boots on the ground experts. So if you're planning on purchasing real estate in the state of Colorado, give us a ring. Licensed real estate agent here. We're going to throw that phone number in below, right there. Give us a ring. When you call that number, you can get us and us only, no one else.
All right, to keep this kind of in flow and help you follow around if you're unfamiliar with the cities all around Denver, we're going to kind of break it up into 4 quadrants. So when you're looking at Denver, we're going to kind of split it into northwest, northeast, southeast, and southwest, and we're going to cover all of the major cities in there. So stick around, because if you're interested in the south, we're going to kind of cover that last stuff. It's going to be towards the end, so stick around because we're going to cover every single one of the cities that is worth mentioning. And then give you obviously the final number of the winning and most affordable city to buy a house. So,
and guys, I mean, the biggest reason we do that is we've seen a lot of these other videos where there's like, hey, the most affordable cities surrounding Denver, and they all happen to be in the same exact spot.
Right.
Well, listen, if you want to live just like Chelsea said, southwest, southeast, east, northwest of Denver, this gives you those options, and we're going to get systematic about it, right? We're not going to sit here leaving you guys hanging thinking, all right, well, you say this city, but is it really much cheaper? We're going to give you those numbers, that way you're not doubting these cities that we're talking about in regards to how affordable they are when purchasing a house.
Now, with that being said, if there's a city that's not mentioned, that's probably for a reason. This is the most affordable cities to buy a house. We didn't mention anything, obviously, 900 or a million plus. We do have an affluent neighborhoods if you're looking in Denver, so go check that out. We also covered recently the best school systems in the same kind of strategic manner. So if you are interested in one of these quadrants, you can go check out our school video. It will tell you kind of the best schools in those areas and different school districts and stuff. So,
exactly.
All right, let's dive in. So we're gonna start with the northwest.
Northwest. All right, now, so I'm trying to think about this because you guys are mirrored, right? So I think that I'm doing this in northwest, but it's probably different. So I'm guessing if I pointed, I'll put a map up. All right, that way I'm not sitting here second guessing where I'm pointing. We're really going to be talking about are what, Lafayette, Broomfield, Westminster,
Louisville.
Superior. Did we throw Superior on there?
So I will say that the northwest quadrant definitely has the most amount of cities because we have a lot of smaller cities up north. As we start getting down south, we didn't have as many cities because we have larger cities down there. So we are going to cover a lot of cities in this first one and then kind of give you the winning city. So let's.
And I was going to say, obviously, the largest appeal to this northwest quadrant is Boulder, right? Everyone wants to live near or in Boulder, but Boulder is obviously not the affordable spot when you're talking about a few of these other cities. So that's why we really want to dive into the northwest.
Yeah. The other good thing about northwest is that it's equal distance from the Denver as well. So if you're, commuting to Denver, commuting to Boulder, you're in a really good spot because we have that shortcut highway of Highway 36 we talk about in a lot of our videos. All right, we're diving in. Let's go. So let's talk about, can we go furthest from Boulder? Let's see if we're skilled enough to do that. Okay, so Superior. Superior is what?
It's the closest to Boulder.
That's what I'm saying. You're going to go that way.
Okay. We're starting closer. Okay, I thought you said you wanted to start first. Okay. First, we're going to talk about Superior, Colorado. We're talking about the median sales price. All these numbers are as of July of 2022 because those are the stats that we have in so far. Superior median sales price, you're looking at $865.
Okay, and then going across the street over to Louisville.
So this one we kind of talked about in one of our last videos. In Louisville, you're looking at a median sales price of $810.
Okay, so they're right across the Highway 36, obviously on the map, and so they're very close. They're going to be pretty close in pricing, but still quite a bit difference in the median sales price.
Well, if you're going up, so 36 is pretty much, I call it like Boulder's dedicated highway because it goes straight from I-25 straight to Boulder. Pretty much if you go north on McCaslin, that's Louisville. If you go south on McCaslin, there you go, Superior. So that's kind of a good, I mean, there are some parts of Superior that kind of like dip in on the north side, but that's a good rule of thumb to figure out where Louisville is compared to Superior.
Yeah, and those are the 2 major cities that are kind of talked about when talking about being close to Boulder, but not having to pay the price points. But I will tell you, everything's sneaking up all the way around there. So let's just go across the street from Louisville. So across the street from Louisville is going to be Lafayette, which is one of our favorite cities because they have downtown Lafayette.
We've done a few videos on Lafayette, so if you guys haven't haven't checked those out, check them out. I highly recommend looking at them. Lafayette is a great little town to live in.
Yeah, and it's just fun. It's up and coming still.
Yeah.
Louisville definitely is a little more bougie when it comes to the downtown Louisville. Coming over to Lafayette, we're starting to see that change. So what is Lafayette's median sales price?
So Lafayette, you're looking at a median sales price of $695.
So big jump, right?
Yep.
We're in the 8s. Now we're jumping down to 6. Now, rule of thumb is the closer you are to the mountains, the more you're going to spend.
Yep.
As we start going east, hopefully we'll start to see the trend change.
Maybe. We'll see. You got to stick around and see. Yeah.
Okay, so over Lafayette. Okay, now if we go further from Lafayette, we're going to kind of go west. We're going to swoop back down and kind of cover some of the things a little further south. But let's keep going east. So after Lafayette, we're going to hit probably kind of Broomfield on the south side.
Broomfield. Yeah, Broomfield. And we actually just did a great video on Broomfield. So again, I'm going to call that out. If you're going to want to check out Broomfield, look at the video we posted like a week or so ago, something like that. Yeah. If you're looking into purchasing a house there, you're looking at a median sales price of $695. Something that I didn't already mention with these price points is I am putting together your detached and attached. I'm not separating them out just kind of for the sake of keeping this video as short as possible for you guys. But yeah, like I said, that's your attached and detached houses that are putting all into one. And so you're looking at a median sales price in Broomfield of $695.
Okay, great. Yeah. So let's go north across Highway 7 and cover the city of Erie.
And this one is obviously going to be the furthest from Denver, being on the north side of Highway 7. And you're looking at a median sales price of $762.
Which, guys, this is crazy, okay? Erie used to be just Old Town Erie. And now we have this new town of Erie, or I guess newer part of the city of Erie. And it is really driving prices up there. So
the houses in Erie are amazing. We would like to bike the trails up there a lot. And you're just going through, and the houses are just beautiful. They're gorgeous.
Yeah, and in that newer part, everything is brand new. So you're not going to have as much landscaping as some of the things like Broomfield. Broomfield's known for all of its beautiful trees and things. So you'll see a little bit of a difference, even though they're just right across the highway. All right, so let's swoop back down a little bit. I covered everything from west going east to I-25. Let's scoop down to some of those really important cities on the west side, not going that way, but just kind of going a little further south. So let's talk about Arvada.
Arvada. So Arvada is obviously the furthest south in this northwest. I would say it's more central.
Yeah.
Like it's literally, I mean, it is a little, northwest of Denver, but I mean, it's pretty much just like a straight over. It's not the same as Lakewood, but if we look at Arvada, you're looking at a median sales price of $645.
Okay, and this is, if you guys don't know us, like both Peter and myself called Arvada kind of like our home for majority of our younger years. Yeah. So this is a big deal for like Arvada's kind of, close to our heart, but it has increased significantly. We are seeing Arvada spread all the way kind of west into that Layton Rock kind of things. We did a video on that, so go check it out. But we're seeing, Arvada just be stretched, all the way from close to I-25 and then all the way into the foothills. But there is one city in between there, and that's Westminster.
Westminster, and this is where I pretty much spent my older portion of my kid years and such. And so this is my stomping grounds, and it's kind of crazy seeing how much that it has changed since growing up there. And you're looking at a median sales price of $561.
$561. Now. That's the last city that we covered.
Did you take notes? Were you taking notes on what the price points for all of them?
Yes. If you did, you will find out that the last one we covered was the winner, which is Westminster.
Yep.
So, with that being said, guys, we are going to see that price drive high soon.
Yep.
It's already increasing, and we now have downtown Westminster. And downtown Westminster is going to be the city that West Side has been looking for, so they don't have to venture into Denver if they don't want to, but still have that city walkability, fun. I mean, it is going to be big. It has like a 25 to 50-year plan or something crazy. This used to be like old Westminster Mall with hot air balloons and carpet. It is now like the most modernized, wonderful, brand new city that, we went down for the Alamo Theater, and it's just awesome. And I think it's going to really change Westminster. So get in now, because right now Westminster is winning. I cannot say that it's going to be that way forever.
Yeah, Westminster is definitely getting a huge facelift right now, guys. And so if you want to get into a city where you think that you're going to see some high equity gains over the next couple of years, I definitely get into Westminster as soon as possible.
All right, so there's a lot of cities. We have a ton of small cities in the northwest quadrant. Let's go ahead and go across I-25.
Yeah, so pretty much the rule of thumb is if you go on the east side of I-25, that's when your prices start getting a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, and we also don't have as many cities to cover on that side, because when you start to see building, a lot of the west is very concentrated, and when you start seeing building, you're going to start seeing it going kind of on the east side all the way out to our airport.
Let's start on the northernmost portion of that. So you're looking at probably like a 25 to 30 minute drive into Thornton, Colorado. This is obviously where we've made so many videos, because this is where we decide to call home. Currently, who knows to say if we're going to stay in the city or move to another city in Colorado, but currently we call Thornton our home. You're looking at a median sales price of $561.
And that is crazy. Thornton is a pretty big city, actually, in the northeast quadrant.
Yeah.
And it has kind of an older portion of Thornton and a newer portion of Thornton that's driving that price. So you can get more affordable houses than that, and the further south you go. But the newer part of Thornton is driving that up. So
I'd say Thornton is super similar to Westminster in the point that it's getting a huge facelift right now, guys. It's like, so north of 136, like the south, I'd say south of 136 is your old Thornton.
Yeah.
The newer portion, which is north of 136, is just blowing up like crazy. Like, so we just got Topgolf up here. You have the new outlet mall up here. They got all this crazy development that's going down, and
So
Thornton is
much.
just, it's growing like crazy.
There's so many plans on the site plan that have been approved in the development and all kinds of things that are trying to really bring Thornton up to kind of on the west side, as far as Broomfield and all that.
And another kind of shout out for Thornton too. So is they're projected to have 3 light rail stations in total. Currently, we have one that's running down in Eastlake, but there's 2 more that are supposed to go in the Thornton area.
And Eastlake is going to be the next hot thing. It's not there yet.
Yep.
But wherever
just a little
the light
town,
rail,
a little bougie place that people want to live and build those awesome houses. So.
It's gonna happen.
Yep.
It's not there yet though. It's gonna happen. Okay, so let's go a little further south. So Northglenn, and it's small. The city of Northglenn is fairly small.
Well, and I will say that there's so many times when you're inside of Northglenn, you feel like you're in Thornton because they kind of intertwine with each other. And Northglenn's so small, they even share a park. So Carpenter Park, they share a lot of events that they do within that park, and you don't know. It's like, is this a Thornton thing or is this a Northglenn thing? So you really kind of unless it's like called Thornton Fest, because then you know it's Thornton. But
but they also have some of the best festivals, everything in Carpenter Park.
And then Northglenn has like their own little like a small version of Carpenter Park. It's EB Rains, and they have all kinds of awesome. They have a pirate festival, a balloon, or a bubble festival, or something like that. We just went to a food truck festival.
Well, we went to, what was it? It's the and we just went to the carnival, and then they had a food truck like festival with the carnival, which was awesome, and with live music. And so definitely, Northglenn is really up on its like events and bringing people together for being as small as it is.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so what is Northglenn pricing?
So Northglenn, you're looking at a median sales price of $505.
Okay, and then the only
are you taking notes still?
I know, right? And then the only other city that we thought is worth mentioning, because I told you that this kind of quadrant is building east, and so even though this city is a little bit further away from Denver, it's going to be Commerce City. And now Commerce City is very confusing because it has an old Commerce City that is pretty far south,
and
then
industrial
a new
portion.
Right, the industrial portion, and some really old, like a lot older homes. And then we have this new Commerce City, which it's so funny when you ask people before, like if they lived in Commerce City, you always pictured as a local and as a native that like it's always that old Commerce City. But Commerce City has this whole other new section that is just completely different than that.
Yeah, they even call it, so it's Reunion area, right? And so Reunion, they technically consider themselves like separate from Commerce City.
I know.
Because it's so much different. It's all so completely brand new. I mean, we're talking like, if we're talking 2000, this was all fields, guys. There was nothing there whatsoever. And now it's all brand new development, brand new schools, brand new grocery stores. And
everything.
So it's kind of hard to put this number together. So if we look at that median sales price in Commerce City, you're looking at $525. And like I said, that number is a little hard to go off of because the southern portion is that industrial. You're going to get homes a lot cheaper down there. Where Reunion, it's going to be a little bit higher. I'd say if we're looking at just Reunion, you're looking at a median sales price closer into the 6s.
Yeah, I think it's a little misleading as a whole.
I think so. Yeah.
Because they're so different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, now the winner, obviously, in that is Northglenn, which is awesome because it's kind of in the middle. It's also right off of I-25, so pretty quick access into Denver.
Yep.
However, I do think there is a city worth mentioning here, one that we've talked about before. Well, Peter will put in a quick link up above if you want to go check it out. But we got to talk about Dacono. So Dacono is north of Thornton. It is definitely smaller, but it's coming. It's coming. And it's a city, if you are okay with going a little further away from Denver, maybe you still want to take advantage of Denver, but you don't have to work down there every day. It's definitely a city worth checking out. Median sales price over there.
You're looking at a median sales price of $498, and this is just like Chelsea kind of mentioned. It's more of your rural area. Mm-hmm. They actually have this huge community that put in it's like Agri-hood or something along those lines where they incorporate like agricultural into like your suburbia style living. And so it's definitely gonna be a lot different. It's not gonna be the same as these other cities that we're talking about, like Westminster, where it's a little bit larger. You have that downtown. They're pretty proud about keeping that kind of agricultural side into their city. But if you want to get a cheaper house that's newer, I mean, it's a great place to go. It's going to be a little bit further from Denver.
But also, they have I think it's 2035 plan to really kind of blow up Tacoma. So this is going to be something you want to keep an eye on.
Yep.
The prices are going to raise. It is going to change up there. They're doing a great job in incorporating that into the new changes and kind of grandfathering in some of the locals there, but it is going to change. So if you're going to do it for the pricing, it's got to be sooner than later.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so not as many cities obviously on that northeast side, but now we're going to kind of go to the south side. Let's go ahead. Should we start on west or east?
Let's start on west.
West?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go southwest. So now we're still kind of close, nestled up near those foothills in between Denver and our beautiful Rocky Mountains.
Yep.
So let's do Lakewood.
All right, in Lakewood, if you haven't already caught a few of our videos, we have done Lakewood a few times. Usually it's like last fall when Chelsea decided to throw a bunch of leaves in my face.
We're recording in fall.
But
I love fall.
Lakewood's a cool little city. Like I said, it's pretty much directly straight straight west of Denver, and you look at a median sales price of $595.
So Lakewood's pretty popular. They have that whole new area of Belmar, which brings in the walkability, and it's just wonderful down there. And so a lot of people are wanting to be as close to Belmar as possible, or being nestled in the foothills with some of those more custom homes. So, okay, so if we go a little further south, we're going to hit Littleton.
Yeah, so just like Chelsea mentioned, Littleton is just straight south of Lakewood, and you look at a median sales price of $665.
So clearly a little bit more expensive than Lakewood, and actually, which is crazy because I actually think Lakewood is easier to get to depending on where you're coming from.
Oh, it is. Yeah, you have
Highway
Highway 6 that goes directly into it. And
right, and then also Lakewood going, up to I-70 to cut into the mountains. So I'm kind of surprised, but I think it's because Littleton's a lot bigger. We do start seeing a lot more custom homes kind of on that southwest side. That'll drive that price up a little bit. So, and then if we're kind of, we know that Denver's in the center, and we kind of have those big toll systems that try and take us a circle around. So we're going to circle around also, kind of that, what is it, E470?
Yeah, that over there. Oh, no, over there.
C470. Yes.
So that's something you got to know about our tollway is it's pretty much like on the east side of I-25, it's E470, which is your toll. On the west side, it's C470, which is the free portion of it.
Yeah, so if we kind of cycle around a little bit to the east of those two cities, we're going to hit Inglewood.
Yeah, and so Inglewood's a kind of another one of those cities. When you're inside of Inglewood, it doesn't really feel like you're either. It feels like you're still in Lakewood or Littleton or Denver. It's really kind of hard unless you see those city signs coming out. But for Inglewood, you're looking at a median sales price of $548.
$548.
Yep.
And then if you're going south, just because in the other quadrant we are going to cover something a little further south, we wanted to give you just kind of the bigger name cities, which one of those bigger name cities is going to be Highlands Ranch, which takes us to what median sales price?
The median sales price in Highlands Ranch is $666.
So climbing back up, as you see, when we start getting away from Denver, we start going south, we're getting closer to Castle Rock and things like that. So some of the surrounding cities, as we get closer that direction, are going to start climbing in pricing, and that's kind of why Highlands Ranch starts to climb back up. So the winner in this department?
Obviously Inglewood.
Inglewood.
Yep.
Woo, ding, ding. I need like a ding, 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 ding. Which is crazy. I didn't actually expect that when we were looking at numbers. I thought Lakewood would take it, but nope. I think it's just because Inglewood's a little further from the mountains.
Yeah, probably so.
Okay, let's jump over to our last quadrant, and that is going to be the southeast side.
And the hard part about this one right here is that it has a massive city within it, which is Aurora, Colorado. And so Aurora, Colorado is the third largest city in the state, and it just takes up pretty much the entire area.
Yeah, there's really only a couple
cities. We've got a few other cities that we'll cover, but it takes up a lot of the area.
So yeah, if we're going to follow on the same route that we were just going, we're going to kind of hit that Centennial area. So what is Centennial prices at?
Yeah, and Centennial, just something to know, it is like, it's kind of straight south, right? Because there's a portion of it that's still on the west side of I-25. And when we're talking about the median sales price within Centennial, you're looking at a median sales price of $655.
All right, and then we're gonna go a little further east, but kind of on that the furthest south that we're probably going to talk about, and we have to because it's a big city. It is a great city. It's beautiful. I absolutely love the city, and that's Parker. So
yeah, Parker, Colorado is kind of that small town living within. It's weird because it's kind of in foothills. But it's far from the mountains, and so there's this stretch of mountains that kind of like go straight out, and it's what separates pretty much Denver from Castle Rock. Parker's nestled in that little foothill area, so you're looking at a median sales price of $665.
All right, and then the Beast. We got to talk about the Beast, which again, I think it's really hard to give you an idea of this pricing because it's just such a large city.
Yeah.
But we have to for comparison purposes. So let's talk about Aurora.
Yeah, and so Aurora, I'm going to have another quick note on that. It's similar to Commerce City where you have like an older portion of Aurora and then you have a newer portion of Aurora, and they look completely different from each other. It's just pretty much the further east you go in Aurora, you're going to get the newer side. The western side, that's going to be your older portion of Aurora. So just something to kind of keep eyes on if you are looking to purchasing within Aurora, really knowing those areas, and you're looking at a median sales price of $510.
All right, so Aurora obviously is the winner in the southeast quadrant, and I think that's pretty fair to say.
Yeah.
You know, based off of some of the other cities, they are, Centennial and Parker are higher price points. We do, especially Parker. And so in Aurora, having it being so big, we do have a lot of options. And so usually we can find people a very affordable home in Aurora, depending on where they're trying to get close to. So definitely think it's pretty, even though it's huge and even though it's kind of hard to compare new to old, I still think that overall it's a pretty telling number.
Oh, I think so for sure.
Okay, so we have covered so many cities. I love stuff like this because I'm such a nerd when it comes to comparing cities and trying to find the most affordable, but also like the best house that fits your lifestyle and your needs and getting you close to everything. Like that puzzle piece is part of the thing that I do when you guys contact us, and I love it. We keep up with these numbers all the time. If there are cities we didn't cover, there's probably a reason, but feel free to ask down below. We did leave out some of those higher cities. If you're interested in the most affluent areas kind of around Denver, we did do a video. Go check it out, and let us know if there's anything else we can cover.
And of course, guys, if you're looking at purchasing real estate in Colorado or even one of these cities that we mentioned today, give us a call on the phone number right below. Right there. Like I said, we're going to be the ones answering those phone calls. And until next time, we love you. Bye.
Bye.